he's just getting progressively kind of more mentally unstable. And he's to the point where he's calling them in the middle of the night, leaving like 12-minute messages about how he's going to or just beat the shit out of them, break into their rooms and attack them while they're sleeping.
All right, so where do you guys stay? You said roommate, so...
we live at the dorms.
At CFK?
Yeah.
At the college? Okay, so do you all live in like the same...
Me and him, and then...
She's across the hall.
Okay, so the person who's harassing you lives
with me and him.
Okay, so you three live together.
Yep.
Where are you guys?
I'm just visiting.
Okay, so where are you?
I live right across the hall from them.
Okay, so the three of you are together and you're across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where is this guy now? Okay.
And we have videos of everything. They're pulling mine out too.
This is their roommate. Did you guys notify the school at all?
Yeah.
Yes,
what did they
And
say?
the leasing manager too.
He said basically that he has to tell everybody in the school. We send out all our emails and statements so he can get
That keeps
evicted.
walking around the property.
No, it's not him.
You know what? Actually, you fucking piece of fucking shit. You are an absolute fucking scumbag, and I fucking hate you. You and Bree, I hope you fucking hole. You fucking scumbags. You fucking left me on Duval. You walk home on so. But guess what? I have never fucking done that to you guys, and fuck you. No, I just don't ever want to fucking hear from you. Don't ever fucking talk to me. Don't ever fucking text me. And fuck you. I hope nothing ever good happens to you. I hope everything bad that ever wants to happen to you happens. Fuck you from the bottom of my toes, the fucking tippy top of my fucking scalp. Fuck you.
And then here's my first voicemail.
$2 Zencore. I hope you keep picking up the bitches you live on the fucking Wall Street because all you fucking can't get because they're all fucking minors, you little bitch. I fucking hope you fucking suck all the fucking suck you because you're a fucking little slut ass bitch, and I fucking hope you get nothing but in return but STDs, you fucking bitch. I hope. Oh, you fucking slut.
On March 19th, 2026, college students reported their roommate to police after receiving multiple threatening voicemails and phone calls. This case demonstrates when angry speech crosses into criminal conduct and how assault law protects victims from threats alone. The central issue is assault by threat. In most jurisdictions, assault does not require physical contact or physical presence. The crime is complete when someone intentionally communicates a threat that places the victim in reasonable fear of imminent harm.
Like he was like texting.
And then play the video. And then this video is kind of long, but this is a phone call he had with my roommate where he starts to make like the threats.
He also like went through like a little rampage last night in our apartment, like threw our furniture out in the hallway.
And then he tried to fight the kid that I was with, that I ended up leaving his friend's house. I ended up leaving with my friend from Texas, and he told that kid that he was going to fight him. And then that kid walked out and was standing outside our room for a long time because he didn't want Jax to come in and like come to me because he kept on saying he was going to. And then like Jax just ended up like kept on saying he was going to fight him and then changing his mind and throwing all the couch in the hallway, the rug in the hallway, like throwing everything out of y'all's apartment. Sorry, that's just us like trying to like, and then we like actually realize like what happened. Yeah, and then
At what point did he start to make threats? Because everything I heard so far, like he's cussing you guys out and he's
Calling you names.
calling you guys names or anything like that. But like literally, anybody can do that. Like people can call us names as cops, but once it gets to the point where it's threatening, like I'm gonna I'm gonna hurt you.
Well, I mean, in the beginning of the video, he just said he better hope her door's locked because I'm coming in to kick her ass.
Yeah.
He's gonna what?
He's going to break the door down. He
Yeah,
hopes that the door
it's
is locked.
Yeah.
did say
In
that.
the beginning of the video, he says she better hope her door's locked because I'm breaking it down and kicking her ass.
It's like really.
And then he's like, I better be there to protect her. He's roommates with me and him, and then she lives across the
Next
hall.
door. Oh, right. Okay. So let me ask you guys this. When you mentioned those threats, were you guys in fear of your guys' life?
Like, we didn't find out. The thing is, like I said, we ended that night on a hug. So, to us, we thought that
We
it was
didn't
fine.
know about any of this till this morning.
Yeah, because I wasn't at home. I stayed at my friend's house. She was sleeping during all of this. So
who's recording this?
My roommate.
And then we recorded the recording this morning when we actually ended up.
So when you heard this message, were you in fear for your life?
Like, we were like laughing in the video, and then like right afterwards, we're just kind of like we really, if you like go farther along in the video, he kind of makes like a racist comment towards him, and he just doesn't stop going, and then it's just kind of like it's like not a joke anymore.
Like, he was being serious.
And then like today, like we just like we don't even want to be at home or anything because
We get the whole racist comments, like we understand that, but for us to do anything, all right, criminally, one, he has to make threats, which he did, okay? So technically that's assault, all right? But we're asking specific questions to y'all because you guys didn't see this till when? Later on, right?
Early in the morning.
Right, early in the morning, okay? So now based off after the fact, you guys listen to the video or listen to the phone call, are you guys in fear of you guys' lives?
Yes, I don't want to
Okay,
go back to my
then
house.
we have to ask those specific questions in order for us to do our job.
No, I understand. I mean, they were like in tears this morning when I woke up and found them.
Okay. Do you guys know his name? I mean, his
Yeah,
full name?
James.
I gotta get your guys'
Yeah.
ideas.
You guys got IDs?
No.
Well, we're gonna go over there right now and go talk to him, okay? Open up.
What?
Open up. Come over here, step outside.
What else? Over here. Alright, do me a favor, stand over here, face the wall. Face the wall. Put your hands behind your back.
What did I do?
We'll explain to you. Right now, you're being detained.
This is your James, right?
First name James?
Yes, sir.
Do you have your ID on you?
No.
Is it in your room?
Yeah.
You okay if we go in there and get it for you?
No. Can I go with you and get it? Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask what I did?
Yeah,
We'll explain it to you.
Yeah. Let me just double lock this here. Relax his hand.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Come on, 7-8. I got one male detained.
When we go outside, I'm gonna read you the Miranda rights.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So, when we go outside. Where is that? Alright, stand across here, just stand up against it. Alright, I'm gonna put this here. I'm just gonna read you really quick some Miranda.
Can I ask what I did now?
Okay, so the reason why you're under arrest is because for assault.
I didn't assault anybody.
For assault's not hitting, it's verbal.
I didn't verbally assault anybody.
Okay, we have voicemails
I haven't.
with your roommates.
I
I heard them myself.
Phone conversations.
Yeah.
Recorded phone conversation.
12-minute phone calls. So I'm just gonna read you really quick the Miranda warning. Okay. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is just, so my question to you is, do you wanna talk?
I don't know what
You don't.
I don't know what to say right now.
Okay. Do me a favor, widen your stance. I'm gonna just search you. Do you have anything on
Just my phone and my vape.
you? Okay, anything on you that will poke me, prick me,
no,
drugs,
ma'am.
weapons, or anything like that? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, you being
This
arrested?
no, I understand the comments that I had made or whatever, but I would never.
But
I would
Before
never
Officer
have.
Fasulo asked you any more questions, she read you your rights.
Yes, sir.
So if you understand those, do you wish to continue to talk to her about the situation?
I just don't know why this is going on.
It's a yes or no question we have to ask you.
Could I get more? Yes, sir. I guess.
If you want for her to explain it in more detail, that's your right. Yes. She can
Okay.
go over everything.
So basically, you have the right to remain silent. Are you just cold or are you shaking? Okay.
And I'm also really like anxiety.
I'm just gonna switch
driven.
over. Okay. All right. Just relax. Just take a deep breath. So you don't have to talk to me without a lawyer if you don't want to. At any time, if you say yes, I want to talk, and then you decide you don't want to anymore,
Yes, ma'am.
you don't have. You could do that as well. So do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Do you want to answer my questions, or would you rather you do? Okay. So did you call them and leave voicemails and
Yes,
text
ma'am.
messages? Okay.
Well, it was.
In Virginia versus Black from 2003, the Supreme Court held that true threats are not protected by the First Amendment. A true threat is a statement where the speaker means to communicate serious intent to commit unlawful violence against a particular person or group. These statements satisfy true threat elements. Specific victims identified, specific acts of violence described, temporal urgency created. The distinction between protected speech and criminal threats turns on specificity. Saying, "I hate you" is protected speech. Saying, "I'm going to beat you up tonight at your dorm room" is criminal because it identifies when, where, and what violence will occur. Officer Fusillo correctly explained that profanity and name-calling are not criminal, but threats of harmful violence constitute assault. The victim's reasonable fear matters more than the defendant's intent. The subject argued the victims were never actually in fear, but assault by threat is measured objectively. Would a reasonable person in the victim's position fear imminent harm? Clearly, yes. The subject was charged with obscene communication rather than assault, likely reflecting prosecutorial discretion based on provable elements. A no-contact order was issued, but the subject was released after 4 hours and returned to the shared dormitory. This created a situation where victims had legal protection on paper, but no physical separation from the person who threatened them. The victims rationally chose to leave the jurisdiction entirely, revealing a systemic gap in protecting harassment victims in shared housing.
Because we have been going through this horrible living situation for a week. I haven't even been. They have been leaving food all over the apartment. They have left it all disarray, all the stuff in there that has been dirty and not cleaned up, vacuumed, to the point where we are worried. I am worried we are going to get bugs, and everybody else that has seen our place has commented and said that they would help us clean it because that's how disgusting it has been.
How does that make you feel?
It has made me feel so like not heard or respected when I listen to them and I do what they ask of me. So, and where the anger and I guess the distraughtness of everything is coming from. So I have been very upset with what has been going on and what I have been dealing with for the week, and I have talked to them nicely, calmly. You can ask anybody. I am the sweetest motherfucker you will meet.
You've spoken to them like before the voicemails. You talked to them. Like,
Yes,
in person?
sir.
Did some of those
No,
conversations
nothing
match
has
the voicemails?
happened. Nothing has happened. You can ask anybody here. I am so confused why this is happening.
Okay, but so they had voicemails.
And
And
the
text
reason I was
messages.
so upset that night specifically
That was
is
like last night.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And we are going to, and I'm going to explain this is because we had all just gone, or we were all, I guess, in the same vicinity for St. Patty's, right? Mm-hmm. One of my roommates came down and pulled me away from one of the bars and said, mind you, he's not old enough to be at the bars. Pulls me away from the bar and is telling me that he is so sorry and he is apologizing for everything that has been going down and that he wants to fix it because he misses his best friend, which was me at the time, and this is why I'm so confused about why this is all going down. We get separated at the bars and everything because I get with my coworkers. Can we just go behind that wall?
How about we do this?
I'm so cold. I'm
You
so
wanna go in the back
sorry.
of the car?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're gonna have a seat, and then.
Oh,
All right, have a seat.
So am I going to jail tonight?
All right, so Officer Fasula is gonna explain that to you. All right. But bottom line is some of the things that you said over phone calls that was recorded, voicemails and things like that, you're making threats, all right? That's assault, all
Yes,
right?
sir.
When somebody's in fear of their life because of the threats you make, listen.
They were never in fear for their life. They have been home. They haven't even seen me.
It doesn't matter
That
whether
is so-
it doesn't matter whether you seen them or not. You're making phone calls, which is equivalent to harassing phone calls. All right, you're calling them all kind of different names. You're cursing at
You're
them,
threatening that you're
and
gonna
you
kick
made
their-
threats on it.
Remember last night you said about the door that you were gonna go in there, and I hope she just keeps her door locked.
No, I don't remember saying that. at all,
She
but
has it on a recording.
I don't remember, and I'm sorry if I did say that. 'Cause that's not. And
And
I
there-
did apologize to her specifically, and we talked about it.
They're scared.
Aubrey, and then I think one of your roommates, Javaris,
Yes, sir.
they're fearful of you. The things that you said, that's assault. Like you can call somebody.
I'm so upset by the fact that
I understand that, but you can call
and that's
people
not-
names and whatnot. But once you start making threats, all right, that becomes an assault.
And what happened that night is the fact that we got separated from the bars, everything. My phone died. They weren't answering my phone calls. I called one of our mutual friends who called them. They said, he deserves it. He needs to walk and think about what he has done to us.
Okay,
And that set me off, and I'm so sorry.
I understand that set you off, but it still doesn't give you the right to make threats like that. All right, that's criminal. Okay, you can't do that. You can be upset, call him a motherfucker all day long. You know what I mean? It's like you're an asshole for leaving me, whatever the case may be. But once you make threats, all right, like harmful threats, you're gonna beat them up, whatever the case may be, break in their
So
door.
am I getting charged and everything?
There's evidence, right? And they want to press charges. And we have to do our jobs and enforce the law. Okay? All right, but tonight you'll spend the night in jail. Tomorrow morning you'll be arraigned. All right, meaning you go in front of a judge. All right, first thing in the morning. All right, and go from there. As of tonight, you are being charged for assault. Okay?
The man was ultimately grading the officers B+. They correctly identified applicable law, reviewed evidence thoroughly, and maintained professionalism throughout. Officer Fusillo's explanation of assault law was clear and accurate. The tactical decision to request voluntary appearance showed good judgment. The grade reflects limited visible coordination with campus security and minimal discussion of comprehensive victim safety planning. Grading the subject, F. Multiple specific threats against identified victims over time. Threatening to break into rooms and attack while sleeping. His claim that victims were never in fear demonstrates fundamental misunderstanding of assault law and lack of accountability. Grading the victims, A-. They documented everything with recordings, reported through both university and law enforcement channels. They provided clear, organized evidence and made rational safety decisions. Minor deduction for delayed reporting during the actual incident. Key lessons. First, threats do not require physical contact to be criminal. Assault by threat is complete when communication creates reasonable fear. Second, document everything. Recordings made the difference between he said, she said, and a prosecutable case with overwhelming evidence. Third, emotional pain does not justify criminal threats. Being hurt or angry does not give legal permission to threaten violence. Fourth, report through multiple channels. University processes and criminal law enforcement serve different functions. Use both. Finally, court orders only work when people comply. Victims may need physical distance regardless of legal protections. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our second channel, Real Bodycam Audit, for even more police interaction and courtroom content.